So hello everyone, my name is Arlinda Muthia and my student number is 141. So today I'm going to analyze a little bit about my favorite novels. The title is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. So before I analyze a little bit about this novel, I'm going to explain why do I choose this novel or why do I pick this novel as my favorite novel, because whenever I try to reread the novel, I still can imagine it as the first time I read the novel. So I'm not lost when I try to read it for the second or the third time, and it feels fantastic for me. And then this story contains a lot of moral story for each characters. I think each character brings a different moral story. After that, the story doesn't only tell us about love, but it also contains of comedy, because there is also the film of this novel, and I think the film also as interesting as the novel, because the film is also funny as the novel. Because whenever I try to rewatch the novel, I still laugh and I got no bored. After that, I'm going to explain a little bit about the relevance between the story and the nowadays situation, because Crazy Rich Asians mostly tells about a couple from Asia, and the boy is very rich, and he is a Chinese. So I think it is reflected to the citizens of Surabaya, exactly the Chinese family that is very glamour. So the story of Crazy Rich Asians is quite relevant to nowadays situation, especially in Surabaya city. The story mostly demonstrates the fortune condition of Chinese family that lives in Surabaya, as you know, for example, in uh, West Surabaya and something else. And then the author, or Kevin Kwan, begins the novel with a quote from Ibn Battuta. He said that nowhere in the world are there to be found people richer than the Chinese. And I think that's really true, because I never find a Chinese who is not rich. Almost all of them are rich. So I think his quote is true. So the first I'm going to tell about the theme. As I mentioned before, that Crazy Rich Asians mostly tells about a rich couple from Asia. So the story begins when a couple from New York City, Rachel Chu and Nick Young, they are actually live in New York City, and they are in love in New York City for 2 years. And then after 2 years, the boy, or Nick Young, tried to introduce Rachel to his family in Singapore after their 2 years journey in New York City. But it is not that easy, because there are a lot of obstacles that they are going to face, and yeah, there are a lot of obstacles. Those two lovebirds at the center of Crazy Rich Asians, or Nick and Rachel, and boy, do they have some obstacles to face. As I mentioned before, mostly their challenge is to prove to his family that their love is real. Exactly for Nick's mother, because Nick's mother's at the first, when he met Rachel, uh, his mother felt a little bit not sure with Rachel, but Nick still tried to convince his mother. And then for the point of view here, I think Kevin Kwan's are using the third person omniscient, Why? Because the author, or Kevin Kwan, knows all the character here. So Kevin Kwan are using the perspective of each characters here. So the author knows all the character, and then the author can be sympathetic, and the author portray their character directly. As I mentioned before that the author knows all the character, it means that this book is told from the perspective of five main characters. Yeah, actually there are five main characters. Beside Rachel and Nick, there are also Eleanor Young, Astrid Leong, and Edison Cheng. They are the parents of Nick. As I mentioned before that his mother, or Nick's mother, still feel not sure about Rachel. The reason is because his mother, or Eleanor Young, always control Nick. Why? Because his mother is really obsessed with prestige and pride. So yeah, I think that's all from my short explanation. I hope you understand about it, because I think most of you have already know about this movie. I'm sorry if there is some mistake. Thank you for your attention, and see you later.